Do your roses refuse to bloom or look dull? Do you feel like no matter how much care you give them, they never look as beautiful as the ones in gardens or nurseries? Today, I'm going to show you how to care for your rose bushes so they're always healthy, full of life, and bursting with blooms. And stay until the end, because I'll share 2 homemade fertilizers that almost no one talks about. They're easy to make, won't cost you a single cent, and are perfect for achieving abundant and constant flowering. Roses are demanding plants, but if you give them what they need, they'll reward you with spectacular flowers. The first and most important thing is location. Roses need to receive direct sunlight for at least 6 hours a day. If you place them in a shady spot or only in indirect light, they'll bloom less and weaken over time. The ideal spot is somewhere very bright, like a south-facing garden or a sunny balcony. If they're in pots, it's a good idea to rotate them every week so that all sides get light and grow evenly. Also, make sure they're protected from strong winds that could damage the flowers or break the stems. Watering is another key factor. Roses need water, but they don't tolerate waterlogging. The best way to water them is deeply, but allow the top layer of the soil to dry out before watering again. In hot weather, it's best to water every 2 or 3 days, and in winter, reduce watering depending on soil moisture. Always water at the base, not on the leaves or flowers, as moisture on foliage can cause fungal diseases like mildew or rust. A helpful tip is to add organic mulch like dry leaves or straw around the base. This helps retain moisture and reduces weeds. Pruning is essential to keep your roses vigorous and to stimulate new blooms. Whenever a flower wilts, cut it just above a 5-leaflet leaf. This will encourage new buds to form. Also remove any dry, weak, or diseased branches, as well as those growing inward, to improve airflow and prevent diseases. Hard pruning is done at the end of winter, after the frosts have passed. At that time, you can cut the rosebush back by 1/3, leaving only the strongest stems. This rejuvenates the plant and improves flower quality. Soil type also plays a huge role. Roses prefer well-drained, loose soil rich in organic matter. You can prepare an ideal mix using garden soil, compost or worm castings, and a bit of coarse sand to improve drainage. You can also add crushed eggshells or wood ash to provide calcium and potassium. During spring and summer, it's recommended to fertilize every 15 days with a balanced fertilizer. But if you don't want to spend money, don't worry, because at the end of this video, I'll show you how to make 2 powerful homemade fertilizers that you probably haven't heard of, and that will make your roses bloom like never before. Pests are also a common issue. The most frequent ones on roses are aphids, spider mites, scale insects, and fungi. To prevent them, you can make an infusion with garlic and mint leaves. Let it steep, strain it, and spray it on the leaves. Potassium soap is also very effective and completely eco-friendly. If you notice yellowing, deformed, or spotted leaves, check the undersides, because that's where pests usually hide. It's best to act early before they spread and weaken the plant. Now that you know how to care for your roses, I want to share 5 beautiful and hardy varieties that you can grow in your garden or in pots. The first is the Castilian rose, one of the oldest and most fragrant varieties, very resistant and perfect for warm or temperate climates. Next is the miniature rose, ideal for small spaces or bright indoor areas. It blooms almost year-round and requires little maintenance. Then we have the English rose, also known as David Austin rose, with dense, fragrant flowers. It's a bit more delicate, but its beauty is irresistible. Another great option is the climbing rose, perfect for covering walls, fences, or pergolas. Just make sure to give it a trellis or support to help it grow. And finally, the iceberg rose, very popular for its abundant and continuous flowering, with white or pink blooms and great resistance to disease. And as I promised, here are 2 homemade fertilizers that few people talk about, but are amazing for roses. The first is banana peel. Simply cut it into small pieces and bury them near the base of your rose bush. Banana peels are rich in potassium, an essential nutrient for flowering, and also contain phosphorus and calcium. Over time, they break down and naturally feed the plant. The second is I invite you to watch my video, where I show you 10 homemade fertilizers and how to make each one step by step so your roses, or any flower, can explode with beautiful blooms. See you there!